Welcome to Journeys. We're here today at the beautiful Beekman Hotel with the beautiful Rika Lisslö, where she's going to take us through her journey. What's unique about Rika is that she has development, finance, lifestyle, construction. I mean, she started her career modeling and singing. I mean, she just has such a multifaceted background, which I think really makes her uniquely positioned to guide a hospitality and lifestyle company. She was with Dream Hotels when they got acquired by Hyatt, and she has a really fabulous story. So please join us and listen in on her story. Welcome to the first episode of Journeys. We are here with Rika Lisslö, but it's just Rika because there aren't that many of those, and she's obviously a special star. And we're here today just to talk a little bit about your journey. So this term lifestyle gets thrown around a lot, but I'd love to hear a little bit about what lifestyle means to you.
Lifestyle to me is the aspiration. It's the aspirational part of the lifestyle because, of course, anything could be a lifestyle. But it is the way that you're connecting with a location. It could be the way that you're connecting with people or music, food and beverage, the way you travel to sort of focus on your wellness in an amazing spa. So for me, wellness is really the art of connecting to all the things you want. It's connecting with a dream.
I wonder if, having lived in multiple places throughout the world, speaking 3 languages, do you think that gives you an edge in kind of determining what might be appealing to others in lifestyle brands?
I think I used to discount it quite a bit, but now obviously having a little bit of perspective, but growing up in Sweden and then, starting my career in fashion, living in Paris, Milan, London before I ended up in New York, it definitely has shaped the person I am today. And definitely the way that all of those experience and maybe even my adaptability and ability to sort of find the common in us and in the situation is definitely coming from that. Again, I lucked out. I feel very, very fortunate to be in this role.
Well, I'm always a believer in you make your own luck. The harder you work, the luckier you get, for sure.
Yeah, probably true.
All joking aside, I mean, you've been a part of a few mergers and acquisitions. They weren't really your choice to do. So I'm wondering, how did you handle that? You went from a private company to a public company. You had teams of people below you. How did that work out for you?
I think it worked out great. Again, I like change and I like growth. And I think the fact that I've always been on the forefront of that growth, obviously building pipeline, making something very valuable enough hopefully to acquire, that is the goal. And I do think the transition with Hyatt went exceptionally smooth. They really had identified in us what it was that they wanted to grow. And maybe on our side, there was a little bit of uncertainty of how are we going to fit in. And I do think our conversations sort of on home turf were much more about, that adaptability and explaining to people that your value, what you did, what we've built as a company, that is what's valuable. So I think we were able to sort of take something that felt quite uncertain and just make a stronger team. And ultimately, we've been seamlessly sort of transitioned into Hyatt. So again, I like change and I sort of thrive in it.
Your team is very lucky to have you. I'm sure they look to you for guidance to just kind of navigate this, and your optimism, I'm sure, puts everyone at ease. Puts me at ease. I feel great just sitting here with you.
Well, I am a little bit of an eternal optimist. I do think that, change is the only constant, right? So to sort of be able to ride those waves, but always sort of keep that core of you, of the brand, of the company, like finding that sort of strength within is so helpful as you're growing. And I do think that people identify it to it. And I appreciate you said sort of that put it at ease. I do think to be a team, you need to be very comfortable with each other. You need to have a common goal. And you also need to know where you fit in that team. So I would say I definitely, I appreciate and I like to identify strengths in other people and help them build. And also you might find something in somebody that is a little bit of a diamond in the rough, and to help sort of build up that part of somebody, I enjoy that.
Absolutely. Well, it sounds like the empathy and the listening, the same things that helped you to get to where you are and to define the lifestyle, also helped you here. So what do you think it is about you that allowed you to really be optimistic, to build your team, to guide your team through these types of changes, and obviously be very successful at it?
That's an interesting question. I do think because I'm comfortable with change, it doesn't intimidate me. And I do think that anyone that sort of worked with me knows that I build them up and I speak well of people, and if there ever is anything that needs adjustment, that's always done in private. I praise publicly and maybe sort of help behind the scenes. So I do think that people just naturally kind of came to me and sort of were asking questions, or were comfortable even expressing some of that uncertainty or maybe even fear. And again, I think if as long as you sit down, you just break it down into one-on-one and have that conversation. And again, remind people of their value. I think sometimes it surprises me how often people forget how valuable they are and what they're bringing, and the fact that they're not exactly like maybe the high producer on their team or the whatever it might be, but they couldn't do their job unless you were there sort of helping build that thing. And that surprises me all the time. So I definitely am a good reminder to people to sort of find that little bit of fairy dust and magic in them.
For somebody to have you as a mentor would probably be the dream.
Thank you. I really enjoy it.
So part of what we're trying to get to is the future of hospitality, what young folks entering the hospitality workforce might think about, advice for them. Tell me a little bit about what you see kind of coming down the pike in hospitality.
I think post-pandemic, I think the opportunities within the hospitality have been incredible. I do think that people really are going back to that authentic self. They want to experience things. We see multi-generational traveling together. We see people really valuing the uniqueness of the location. Where I think maybe it's slightly different is I do feel like technology is helping our industry in certain aspects, but I also believe that maybe the future is going a little bit back old school. I think people are searching for connection more now than ever. That doesn't mean that technology isn't super important, because it is, but it's going to be more a supporting aspect of your travel as opposed to the travel itself. People want to have that personalization. People want to be able to book and organize things in the moment that they feel like doing it. I think the future of hospitality is beyond bright.
Exploring the stories and advice of incredible trailblazers like Rika Lisslö of Hyatt is what I love to do. I hope this episode of Journeys helps you in your pursuit of an incredible career. Join me next time as we uncover the secrets and unique stories of leaders in the world of real estate, lifestyle, and destinations.